This is Team Asia, and I'm Sarthak Dhole from India.
I'm Tushar Karki from Nepal.
And I'm Mohsin from Pakistan. And this is the International Business Olympiad 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to see the whole staircase, you just need to take the next step. And the next step for our company is artificial intelligence. So let's talk about Automech. Founded in 1975, Automech Industries is a Detroit-based manufacturer of automotive components serving major North American automakers. It boasts an employment of 3,500 people and has generated $850 million in revenue in 2023. It is highly acclaimed for producing high-quality transmission systems, engine parts, and suspension components with reliable and fast delivery. However, recently it has faced increased competition, particularly from the Asian manufacturers that are currently adopting advanced technologies within this stratosphere.
Because of this increased competition, Automech has recently been facing a downturn. And to analyze and give suggestions on that, we will analyze the course of investment if it were to apply artificial intelligence into its workplace. So, in our initial investment phase, spanning the first 3 years, Automech is looking at significant outlays totaling $120 million. By the year four, we'll start seeing positive net cash inflows with substantial increase about $110 million, and which will increase in the years 5 to 10 to $218 million. So we'll be calculating the present values of all these future transactions, which are just their present counterparts for their present valuation in terms of time, which would just be calculated by their net cash flow divided by the discount factor, which is just 1 plus the discount rate to the power of the number of years. And we will sum up these present values for all the years, the 10 years, to get the net present value. And the internal rate of return is just the discount rate at which the net present value is zero, so that there is no profit and there is just a break even point. So, doing our calculations and cost benefit analysis for the scenario, we get that NPV comes out to be $768.18 million, and the internal rate of return comes out to be 77%. A 77% rate of return is substantially greater than this 8% discount rate, and this suggests that this is a potentially profitable venture for Automech to go into, and therefore our results confirm that AI investment is a financially attractive option for Automech, and it should go into AI investment.
Okay, now let's move on to the justification for the implementation of artificial intelligence. We need to understand that firstly, we have conducted a cost-benefit analysis, which clearly shows that artificial intelligence is the way of the future. However, that being said, there's obviously other benefits to us as well. Firstly, optimization of production. AI enhances the efficiency by predicting and preventing equipment failures, which then reduce downtime. And that, we as a company obviously need to boost product quality as well. So AI-driven systems will detect defects in real time, which will give better feedback, which will hence obviously improve the quality of our product as well as reducing the waste produced. We also need to understand that the biggest and most important justification for this implementation is the reduction of cost. We need to understand that when a workforce is being completely replaced, it's going to essentially be more effective. We need to understand that AI automates repetitive tasks, minimizes errors, and optimizes resource use, which hence lowers the operational and labor cost itself. This is essentially 30% of the labor costs are already cut due to this introduction of AI, which helps us be more profitable as a whole. Other than that, we as a company obviously need to make data-driven decisions. So AI processes a vast amount of data for actionable insights, enhancing decision-making and strategy. However, that being said, Tesla again is one of the companies that essentially has used AI for continuous improvement and innovation in its manufacturing. However, what people don't know is that Tesla is actually the first car manufacturer in the market to essentially introduce AI as a form of innovation. What this did was essentially give them a chance to get a higher market share as a whole and help them get a bigger share of the profit that could have normally gotten due to this innovation. Now let's talk about the technical challenges within the integration of the artificial intelligence. Firstly, we need to understand there's multiple problems that our company is going to be facing. However, turning those problems into possibilities and those obstacles into opportunities, we as a company will skyrocket. Firstly, we need to understand that there's insufficient quality and consistency of existing data, which could hinder AI effectiveness. So to counter that, we're essentially going to first of all be conducting a comprehensive audit to assess the current data quality and identify gaps. within the data management system. Secondly, we're going to be implementing a centralized system for structured data storage and access, which will help to improve the data quality through cleaning, normalization, augmentation, and defragmentation of the storage space to improve a better system structure. Secondly, we need to understand that due to this implementation of AI, there's obviously going to be more risks regarding cybersecurity. To essentially stop any competitors from getting any privileged information through hacking or any other means, we have introduced enhanced security protocols in the form of implementing advanced encryption, systemic and asymmetric, as well as multi-factor authentication and intrusion detection. We will also be appointing a director IT, which will double as a head of cybersecurity and will have a team of 20 members, which will essentially uphold the cybersecurity standards and uphold the policies that we have by conducting routine audits to identify and mitigate any potential risks and vulnerabilities within the system. Let's talk about the organizational challenges. We need to understand that there is obviously difficulty in scaling AI across different product lines and facilities. However, to counter that, we're going to be developing an adaptable and scalable AI module for different production lines to essentially create that variety. Secondly, we're going to be using cloud-based platforms for these scalable computational resources so that we have access to the cloud at all times. It will be a better storage facility as a whole. We also need to understand that the integration of AI technologies with existing systems already presents a technological challenge. So for that, we're going to be collaborating with experienced AI vendors who have already got a lot of experience within this market to essentially give them a chance to help us as they've done help other companies who have basically gone towards the AI route in order to stay relevant within the market. Let's move on to the biggest challenge of them all. High initial investment. We need to understand that our CEO has put $120 million investment towards the implementation of AI. However, we must understand that as we've conducted our cost benefit analysis, it already justifies the investment with the detailed analysis, highlighting the long term gains that our company has. However, that being said, to uphold the financial standard that we currently have, it is essential that we get external funding. Now, this could be done through government grants, partnerships, just to anything to ease financial pressure within this regard. We could also be doing phase investment in the form of breaking down the investment into smaller phases for better financial management. And it also involves the developing of plans to address the potential delays or pitfalls that can come within the expected returns.
Now, as we integrate AI at Automac, our commitment extends beyond just technological upgrades. We are equally dedicated to a robust ethical framework, and for that we have three segments. Towards the shareholders, we have the profit maximization. We have to deliver the highest profit, and the utilitarian framework is best suited for this purpose, where we deliver the highest utility to the maximum number of shareholders. And then the risk management, we minimize the reputational damage that is caused by, say, the mass layoffs, for example, and the internal changes within the company's management by including the AI. So we advise against mass layoffs at the same time, and phase them out over time would be a better option. And alongside this, to repair the PR, we suggest that doing local community engagements would be helpful. Along with this, transparency is our key motto, and for this, stakeholders should never be in the dark about their investment and should be aware of all the thought processes that go into the business at all times. Towards the employees, job security and fair treatment is a must, and we advise Automac to provide retraining to ease structural unemployment figures so that there is no skill gap, and that all employees are now able to work alongside AI and are not being replaced by AI. And a sufficient notice period should be provided before layoffs is something that we make sure. Here, the deontological ethical framework is best suited, that there is a duty to be fulfilled by the company. And as we know that AI will improve the workplace safety by replacing dangerous jobs, which will be taken over by the AI, and humans will take up the safer jobs. Towards the local community, providing internships would help engage the community and maintain the company's image, alongside bridging the skill gap and also bringing high quality labor into the company. Crowdsourcing investment is another aspect that could be used to help with the $120 million figure that stands as the benchmark for the investment funding we need to bring in. Here, we advocate for transparent and clear information that should be publicly available so people can deduce their own risk before investing into the company.
Currently, we have 3,500 employees employed in the organization, and we expect a 30% reduction in force. Majority of that 30% would come from lower level, and some will come from the middle level. And considering the value of high level employees to the organization, we expect that none of them would be fired. So estimated job losses would be around 1,050 employees, and obviously firing of this label would definitely impact the workforce by lowering the employee morale due to job insecurity, negative community impact because a lot of locals of that community may be engaged in the company, and skill mismatch when the fired employee realizes that his skill is not being demanded in the labor market. So, minimizing layoffs and helping the fired employees, keeping it as an objective, we have divided 1,050 non-essential employees into two types. First one is redeployable, where we are training them to just be fit and assign them to the new role like project manager or ethics compliance officer that may occur due to the AI implementation. And the other would be the layoff group, where we can't do much, but we can definitely give them career counseling, job placement services, and severance pay to ease them. So obviously, this level of transition would impact the productivity also. Initially, there would be a disruption in productivity with training and adjustment period, as well as operational disruption due to AI implementation. But in the long run, there will be increased efficiencies, reduction in defects, upskilling and reskilling, and motivation from new opportunities, so that the employees would adapt to the uh, new scenario. And talking about the workforce dynamics, we would observe a shift in skill requirements. Like there will be increased demand for tech skills, there will be changes in workforce structure, the traditional blue collar workforce would be reduced, and there will be increased proportion of tech enabled roles. The company culture would evolve, and moral and job satisfaction among the retained people would be higher. And similarly, the hierarchies would be flattened, and it would cause to increase collaboration due to streamlined operations. So all the stakeholders need to be connected in this transitional phase by the organization. And to do that, we have to communicate transparent, engaging, and supporting messages through internal and external challenges, messages that explain the need of the situation, the positive or negative on the employees. Similarly, we should also communicate about the support systems to the disadvantaged ones. And our communication activities will be divided into three phases. The first is pre-implementation, where we are going to communicate about the announcement, we are going to hold stakeholder meetings, and also about the proper information of the training and resources. In the second stage, that is during implementation, we are going to talk about regular updates, we are going to hold feedback sessions, and also share some success stories of pilot AI implementations. And the last one, that is post-implementation, we are going to evaluate all of the activities that have been done. We're going to provide ongoing updates and also share the company's future vision. And to address all of these changes, we have a change management policy in practice, and that is we have five objectives and the actions corresponding to them, which we have to do to complete or fulfill the objectives. The objectives are minimizing resistance, that is through training programs, change management workshops, and incentives and rewards. Similarly, facilitating transition through communication plan and employee involvement, supporting employees through support resources and continuous learning opportunities, enhancing adoption through feedback mechanisms and change champions. Basically, change champions are those people, influential figures within the organization who advocate for change. And lastly, monitoring and evaluation through track progress and post-implementation review. However, in this phase, the main focus should be on the fact that the company culture should be maintained positively in spite of all the challenges. So we also conducted a SWOT analysis, and we realized that the main strengths of the company are in established reputation, the strong financial base, that is $850 million annual revenue, the experienced workforce, and the future-looking leadership vision. But there are some weaknesses in the declining market share, which has just decreased from 4.2% to 3.8% in just a couple of years. The labor costs, which are rising, but the profit margin at most is just staying constant. Similarly, the resistance to change that may come due to like firing a lot of people, a lot of employees at once, and technical and organizational challenges that we have already discussed earlier. But there is a glimmer of hope. There are some opportunities like the market growth, which is with a CAGR of 3.5%. Similarly, technological advancements, like we have already predicted that the efficiency would increase by 25%, the energy cost would be reduced by 20%, and the defects would be reduced by 40%, which is a very good sign. And from the case of tech drive solutions, we have already observed that implementing AI would be a competitive advantage, and it will also open new revenue streams of new product line or services in the future. And similarly, about threats, we're going to face intense competition from tech drive solutions as well as the other aggressive Asian players in the market. Similarly, the global economy is in a very tumultuous times, so there can be economic uncertainty. There we can receive ethical and social backlash, and also obviously there are implementation risks.
So, for conclusion, we do believe that incorporating AI into automech industries operations is not just an opportunity, an option, but rather it is a necessity to remain competitive within the rapidly evolving market.